Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Thursday morning. It is the 15th day of June 2023. We're halfway through the month of June, and as we've been reporting, nothing in the way of hot weather yet. We'll see how long this lasts. Part of that has to do with things like the marine layer, the onshore breeze, and the overall weather pattern, and I'll show you how that really isn't going to be changing all that much. As I look out the window of the home office first thing this morning, get some high, thin clouds going by. We'll see more of that as we go through the day. Let me show you that on satellite. Quite a few things going on this morning. We have those high clouds drifting through, and yeah, this is kind of like what we saw yesterday, and you can see that flow from the north. I'll show you that on the big picture just a little bit. So these just kind of dim the sunshine a little bit, and these are up around, well, geez, I think these are up around 20,000 feet or so. So these are pretty high. And like I said, they'll just kind of dim the sun, and there's a rather well-defined back edge. So by the time we get to probably 2 or 3 in the afternoon, most areas will be clearing out. And then, of course, there is the marine layer that starts in Mendocino County, socks in the Bay Area, Salinas, and then all the way down into San Diego and the LA Basin. And for those of you that are golf fans and going to be watching the US Open, you can see that, I'm going to be dealing with a lot of that over the next couple of days. But for us, let's talk about the marine layer a little bit. So down here on the coast, we have the fog in Monterey. And down here, I've shown you this before, but I want to show you again, the Fort Ord profiler. So what this is a vertical profile of the marine layer. So what we have here is over on this side, what you've got is the depth of the marine layer. So over here, this is 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 feet. So I know sometimes it's funny. I always have to laugh when we look at weather graphics that sometimes they do things in feet, sometimes they do things in meters, sometimes things are in Fahrenheit, and sometimes they're in Celsius. And if you look at this one, we have the altitude in feet, but the temperature scale on the top is in degrees C. So this one's kind of a mix and match. And the time goes this way. So in other words, the most current time is over here. And what you're looking at here with the temperature scale here, see this purplish, pinkish purplish color, fuchsia, whatever you want to call it, that's 10.5 degrees C. And then the warmer colors up here, this is 20 degrees. So what you have here, this is the colder air under the warmer air, and that's classic marine layer sort of pattern. And what we look for is how deep it is. And so if you look at this, you roughly think about this being the top of it, right in here, and it's up around 2,500 feet. Actually, even higher than that. So that's a nice deep marine layer. Sometimes it gets down here under 1,000 feet. And when it's under 1,000 feet, that's when the valley, even with an onshore breeze, can see temperatures in the upper 90s to over 100 degrees. But if it's up over here, well, that onshore breeze is going to have a really big impact inland. So let's talk about the wind. I'm going to shift this around a little bit. So this is one of my favorite products for wind, and this is called the CanSac. And so this is this afternoon at 5 o'clock. Rather interesting pattern that I want to point out here is that, so we've got that marine layer on the coast that will push that cool air inland. So Napa, Solano County, Contra Costa County, nice and cool. Same thing in southern Sacramento County and San Joaquin County. But if you look to the north, so let's just draw Interstate 80 going, let's say, right here. Let's say a theoretical line of Interstate 80. If you go north of that, look at where the wind barbs are here. They're coming from the north. And so if you go here on the west side of the valley, west of Redding and Red Bluff, that wind is coming down the valley. And so Butte County, we actually have a north wind. Same thing around Marysville, Yuba City, and also into places like Auburn, Grass Valley, Auburn, right down in here. So a north flow, well, that means warmer temperatures. So today could be one of those days that at 5 o'clock this afternoon, Marysville and Chico could be 94, 95 degrees. But here in Solano County, we might be at 78. So this is a really small sort of weather pattern that we see quite often. But boy, it really makes it difficult to forecast temperatures. This afternoon at 5 o'clock, we should see huge differences between Napa, Fairfield, and Sacramento than what you'll see in, let's say, Roseville and Chico and points north. And then, so let me slide this down a little bit. The slider's up here. So then as we go through the night tonight, that wind actually, so then it gets back into Sacramento County. Still not into Butte County, but you see how that wind now goes all the way through Sacramento County. And then during the day on Friday, we'll see the same thing. So let's go into Friday morning. This is Friday morning. Look at that north wind coming down the west side of the valley. Not much in the way of an onshore breeze. And this is why we've been talking about Friday being the warmest day with a high, maybe as high as 94. And some of the models have been higher than that for places like Sacramento. Looks like there is going to be maybe just a little bit of that flow coming out of the Delta and maybe down the San Joaquin Valley. So that's first thing on Friday morning. Then as we head into the afternoon, the breeze comes back. So at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Sacramento gets back into the breeze. So does San Joaquin County, but still in Butte County and around the Marysville area, we have that north wind. So that's just a really interesting sort of little pattern, little wrinkle that a local sort of thing that we have to keep an eye on at this time of year. The wind direction is so important, and because the wind direction can change so much from one location to another, that when you look at big models like this model, the big 500 millibar chart, you're not going to be able to discern that sort of a little localized pattern. You need the better models like I just showed you. So let me look at this a little bit. I have to squeeze this over here to get to the controls, because even though we are talking about some warmer days coming up with this little nose of a ridge, I'll tell you what, the pattern continues to show a cooling trend starting Saturday night. I still think Saturday will be up around 90 degrees. But then on Sunday, this is Sunday morning, this is Sunday afternoon, this next low takes place, digs into the Pacific Northwest, especially, where they will see some rain. It still doesn't look as though we'll see any rain in California from this deep trough. But this is getting into the day Monday. That is cool. We may see temperatures only in the upper 70s to low 80s on Monday. That's more than 10 degrees below average. And while temperatures may modify a little bit next week, maybe getting back into the mid to upper 80s, as you go all the way into next weekend, another trough takes place, and yeah, there's nothing in the way of warm weather there. And there's a very good chance, there's an increasing chance, that we could go through the month of June without 100-degree day, which is really interesting and relatively rare. And it'll also be interesting to see your electric bill for the month of June. I know it's still a ways away. We're only halfway through the month. But your electric bill for the month of June, if we can compare it to a year ago when we saw 11 days over 100, and this year we may have none, well, your electric bill could be quite a bit lower because you're probably using your AC a lot less, if maybe not at all. So that's everything I've got for you this morning. There is a bit of a program change today because of the U.S. Open going on at Los Angeles Country Club, and it's being carried on NBC. In the early evening, we've got the 4 o'clock newscast, and then we've got a 5 o'clock newscast on My 58. And then the late news, 10 and 11, will be normal. Because it's Thursday, there will be a Facebook chat tonight, but it may go a little earlier. I may be able to do it at 7:30. So if you're one that likes to take part in the Facebook chats, look for it a little bit earlier tonight, maybe around 7:30. So that's everything I've got for you this morning. Looks like a beautiful day, a warm day, but not overly hot. Make it a great day. I'll talk to you later.